Good morning. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Timscotteswoldfarm. I thought it was worthwhile just having a look at one of our wheat fields. So this field is a couple of acres shy of 30 acres. It was planted following a cover crop, which means we're hoping the nitrogen value is really high because there wasn't a cereal in here before to strip the nitrogen's value. So the three things we look at are the time of year that we drill it. So we're looking for a window between September and late November, obviously December at a push. We established this in late October, but to show you the difference in yield, we're looking for an optimum yield of around 400 leaves per metre squared. If we were to drill it in September, we would get possibly 14, 15 leaves per plant. If we then wait just a couple of weeks into mid-October, the chances are we would only get around 8 to 9 leaves. So that's the drastic difference just a couple of weeks makes to the yield of this crop. The second and third thing are the temperature of the ground when we drilled and the number of seeds. So for obvious reasons, the less seeds you put down, obviously the less leaves you're going to get. But we have 1,000 grain weight, and then when we buy the seed or we have home seed, we're told these values and we put them through our drill. So very briefly, when we actually come and look at a crop, let me just show you the sort of things we look at. It's obviously the colour. So is it yellow or is it a deep, nice green? When we actually look at the rows themselves, what we want to see is the leaves start to throw themselves out and close those gaps. We want it to start covering the ground. So when you look, obviously we're still quite early in the year. It's only January, but we want all of these plants to start tillering out and filling this so that it is a complete blanket. The other thing we're looking for is pest damage. So you can see here some of these plants, this one for example, very straight edge, which means the rabbits have been at it. You look at this stem here, each one of these has been eaten by a rabbit. And you can see why, because obviously the bank's just there. But that's just another sort of thing that we look at. If the tiller's successful and it throws out good tillers, which is about the adequate depth, it's about a good healthy plant having the right nutrition, then obviously the yield and the tiller will follow once all of the other components that I've already spoke about are in place. I thought it'd just be worth noting we also have an agronomist, so a crop scientist, who actually comes out, gives us guidance on the relevant chemicals, fertilizer rates, etc. that we use. But I think more on a day-to-day basis, just as a farm, to understand how our crop's growing, it's useful for us to just come out and have a bit of a look, both colour, and obviously we can tell from some of those other factors already. So hopefully that's of interest. So I'm happy with how the crops look, so I'm going to just put the dog in the house, grab a quick shave, and then head down to the sheep. Whilst we're up here, that barn's one that we're going to pull down. We're going to put a new one up. I'm hoping to put some calves in it. So 2022, 2023, hopefully, when we've got time. It's the asbestos as well. That's a really annoying thing. We have to make sure that we obviously get rid of it in the safe, legal way, but it just adds cost to a build all the time. What are you doing, Shelby? You had a good walk? Obviously not. Wants a longer walk. Get him! How beautiful the rays of sunshine are. Oh, that's a bit bright actually. Ooh. Show how bad my windows are. That's obviously up there. Just putting the rest of the feed in. Decided not to park at the top. Thought we'd come down the bottom this time for a bit of a change. It's not great because that small gate there, which sometimes we have to carry sheep through, and there's a small gate at the top, but generally there's no mechanised way of getting in. Just heading off to the next sheep now. Another beautiful day at the sheep. Notice my new coloured roof. Just doing my morning ritual, walking along trying to find the sheep. Horses know what's coming. Two there. How beautiful the valley is. I genuinely think there's another sheep stuck in their brambles. Yep, I was right. Oh. Giving her the beans. We've noticed that most of the sheep are over on the other bank, so we're just going to drive across instead. think slight change of plan, didn't quite get up there. Probably stop here, do you reckon? Otherwise we might not get out.
We're going to slope down over there.
That's actually a lot steeper than I thought.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Jesus. Yeah. That's testing the old suspension. Sheep are all now feeding nicely, with the exception of 2. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I might have to go and help Dad. Hang on. So I'm just walking up the strip of our sunflowers. So what we did, we put 3 meters of sunflowers up this field, and then we understitched it with clover. And then at the end of the season, we thought, well, they're dying off. Should we top them out? But actually, more nature has used this as food than we had anticipated. So it's been really valuable to the environment. So I'm so glad that we didn't top it off. I thought it's just worth showing that actually, sometimes when things aren't so beautiful, and we talk about rewilding basically means letting things go really messy. So what the heads look like now. Obviously, it's not a very pretty sight. We were hoping to have combined it, but unfortunately it just got this weird Fausty disease in it, and all of the seeds basically went mouldy and wet before we had a chance to combine it. The birds were able to use it for nutrition, so there was certainly value in growing these. So it's the next morning, and I'm just going to go to a neighbour's farm because they've got some wooden potato boxes that they said that I can have. So I've been looking for some boxes to be able to store my firewood in. I spoke to a neighbour and they're potato growers, and I thought, potato box, perfect to put wood in. So I dropped him a text and he's got 3 that he doesn't need, which he said basically you can just have for free. If they are in a bit of a poor state, then I might have to use some more pallets we've got kicking around this farm just to bolster them up. So viewers who are farmers, would you back out or would you just go out with the boom high? My concern is we get a lot of lorries coming past here, and what tends to happen is high-sided wagons sail very close to the farm. So I'd probably end up having the tines taken off. So what I'm hoping is that each box is going to hold around a meter and a half cubed of wood, which means it will make it a lot easier when I'm trying to keep all of my quantities pretty consistent when selling to customers. The issue is, for obvious reasons, you can't use weight as a guide because some wood would be wetter than other. So customers would be paying for moisture rather than actually paying for product. So I've spoken to the owner, and apparently they're just around here to the side. There they are. Lovely. So hopefully if these will fit about a metre cubed of wood, I'm going to be very happy. Old hydraulic pipe that we've got down there just in case one of them bursts, and I think that is what kept rattling against the windscreen. Oh no! That's not gone well. Load of
whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long, but I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down.
So here are the potato boxes. I've taken one down already and I'm just left with two now. Problem is the floor rotted out on the first one, so there's definitely going to have to be some repair needed. This is already snapped as I've picked it up, so my concern is the forks are just going to go through this one like they did the first one. Same there. Obviously this one's lifted up under here, but time will tell. So I'm hoping this box lasts longer than the first one. Obviously I'd rather it broke now than it broke when I was on the highway, but I'm just going to record this just in case it does decide to break, and at least you guys can see it. Navy's been doing a bit of ploughing. So the second box has made it back safely. It didn't snap like the first. I'll just put it in second just in case. Dad's been off hedge cutting. Got another client this morning as well. Just going to store them here. Slide him out. Ready to get the final one. Third one coming in. Bit bowed that one, which is why it didn't come off the forks that well. They're here, very happy. They got better as they went along. So the first one I picked up fell off on their drive, as you can see, completely snapped and rotten. Second one, bit better, tiny bit of work I need to do. And then the third one is actually really good. And also it's got these nice air ventilation holes as well, so the wood will be able to dry. So maybe some of my really wet stuff I'll put in these, and then I'll be able to use the rest of these two for slightly drier wood. Obviously I'm going to need to use a pallet, and I'm going to have to take wood out and bolster up this, but otherwise pretty happy. Successful morning. Field, Dad's just on the back lane hedge cutting. Just see him over there. So I think I better call it there because this video is becoming quite long. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tim's Cotswold Farm, and I'll see you next week.